Welcome to Sib Spot. Today's Reddit stories are from Entitled People. Story 1 is by Pearly1979. Dad's entitled wife feels she should be addressed in cards I send him. Long story. I refuse to call my dad's wife my stepmom because she does not deserve the title. Backstory. In the early to mid-90s, around when I was 13 and my brother was 15, we traveled from our home state to my dad's current state to spend the summer with him and meet his wife for the first time. We didn't have much of a relationship with our dad. He was largely absent in our lives, moving to his new state when I was 6. His wife turned out to be awful. She started out nice, but slowly became very mean, treating me like a slave and making me take care of her grandchildren the entire summer. My brother and I were miserable. My real mom ended up bringing us home because all his new wife did was make us do chores. I didn't mind helping, but I did all of it. And I started my period and she was too busy to go get me pads. I had one in my carry-on bag and we were close to going home, so I stuffed my underwear with toilet paper and saved the pad for the airplane ride. Fast forward, she drops us at the doors to the airport and didn't even come in to check on us. Dad was at work. We get in there and find out our connecting flight at our layover stop would be late and we would be stranded in that airport. Brother called our mom from a payphone and she called my dad's house where his wife informed her that she knew this, the airport had called her, but she was too busy with her grandkids and didn't have the time to deal with us, and we would have to figure it out. I started crying and told my mom I would rather sleep in the airport than go back to their house anyways. A very nice couple and their children saw me crying and came over to help. They were on the same flight as us and had worked it out to get a flight to an airport 3 hours from our house. They helped us get on the same flight and stayed with us till they were able to hand us over to our mom and stepdad, wonderful man, and they drove us home. I still have not totally forgiven my dad for not only letting her treat us like crap, but staying with her after she abandoned us in an airport when I was only 13 years old. But for my grandparents' sake, I have been civil with him. I will never speak to her again, though. I had the opportunity to tell her how I felt when she tried to friend me on Facebook, and that's the only time I've spoken to her in 31 years. I like to send greeting cards and would send some to my dad every once in a while. I always only addressed it to him. She got butthurt and complained to him about me not addressing her in the cards, and he in turn complained to my grandma, who complained to me. I said, fine, guess I'm not sending cards to him ever again. And I haven't. I can't believe she feels so entitled and delusional as to think she should get cards from me after she abandoned me and my brother in an airport far from our home. Grandparents are both dead now and I don't think I will ever see him again. He texts me from time to time and I will answer it, but I do not go out of my way to speak to him. My stepdad walked me down the aisle and my kids call him Grandpa. Seems to me like it wasn't just this woman that was the problem, but your dad, your real biological dad, and there's probably a pretty good reason why your mom's not with him anymore. You were right to cut your stepmother out of your life, but I think you were actually right to cut him out of your life as well. Parents who stay with somebody like that, who basically neglects their child in some dangerous way, they deserve it when you cut them out of your life, and it doesn't sound like it bothers him at all. You didn't mention anything about him complaining that you don't keep in regular contact with him. Down in the comments by MNJW. When I got married the first time, we did the whole big wedding thing. I invited my father and a guest. His wife was not happy about that. She was even less happy when she made the foolish mistake to call me about it. Sadly, the moron came to my wedding anyway. She was escorted off the premises. She was a lazy, spoilt freeloader so much her family have basically abandoned her. When I first read that one, I was like, you invited your father and a guest. Can't he just say, she's his guest? And come? That one left me a little bit confused. Maybe she's just mad that she didn't get the title? Our next story today is by Tigglebitties 2022. And yes, it's an inappropriate name. Coworker demands I spend lunch giving her a free manicure. This happened a couple weeks ago. I, 34 female, work in a government office in my province. It's a rewarding job but doesn't pay very well, and I absolutely love having my nails done. My nails have been pretty crap my entire life, flaky and weak no matter what oil or supplement or whatever I try, and I used to have a bad habit of chewing them. So I bought myself a $50 gel kit from Amazon and started doing them myself about a year ago. I have a nice little setup at this point, and I'll do my friends' nails from time to time. I've also completely stopped chewing them. I brought my kit to work the other day because I was going to a friend's house after to do her nails as a favor before a party. My friend offered to buy a pizza, and we were planning to watch a movie afterwards. I made the mistake of discussing this plan with a coworker when she noticed the kit sitting on top of my locker when she came in. Small lockers, and I didn't want to put it on the floor where I put my dirty walk-to-work shoes. Oh my God. This woman, 50-ish, spent the 4 hours leading up to lunch badgering me about how I should give her a manicure on our lunch break. I had my favorite teal shade on, and she talked about how much she loved it and how she never gets her nails done because her husband thinks it's a waste of money, and how I can get some practice and how it would be so nice of me, and. I said it first gently more than once, and then I thought pretty firmly that I would be eating lunch on my break before I gave up and just responded to everything she said with a non-committal grunt. When I got up to go, she tried to act like I'd agreed to it, and she would grab her stuff and meet me in the lunchroom. I had to look her in the eye and say, "Name, I'm going to eat during my 30-minute unpaid lunch break, not give you a free manicure. Please drop this. You're making me uncomfortable." She has refused to speak to me or look directly at me. She's mostly remote and kind of annoying, so that's not a problem. She's also talked crap behind my back, and some of my coworkers have told me about it, and she's a huge gossip with massive chip on her shoulder about everything. So I can only assume most people in the office have heard her harrowing tale. Luckily, everyone who has talked to me about it agrees she's being a complete clown. But seriously, who the F asks a coworker you're barely even friendly with for a free manicure, let alone insists upon it for hours? That is just a super entitled woman. Holy crap. Somebody you barely know and you're like, "Oh, I love your nails and you need to do mine as well," for 4 hours. Down in the comments by Init Malcanis, they answer the question. But seriously, who the F asks a coworker you're barely even friendly with for a free manicure, let alone insists upon it for hours? Someone who has had great success over the years getting what she wants using this method. There are people in the world who beg, and there are ones who don't. And you just met somebody who begged off you, basically. Our next story today is by MJ Smore, 33. Friend's entitled dad upset that a restaurant wouldn't stay open for him. Last weekend, a group of us went out to dinner. My best friend invited her dad and stepmom to come with. They're part of our social group, so it's not uncommon for them to just join us in social gatherings. Her dad is rich, but honestly pretty annoying. There were 6 of us total. We got to the restaurant and didn't realize they were closing early. It's our fault for not calling to reserve a spot. If we would have done that, we would have known that they were closing early, but it was no big deal to us and we decided to just go back to the house and barbecue, which is more our style anyway. Her dad threw the biggest fit in the restaurant. He kept telling the owner he'd pay them whatever they wanted to stay open, that they're losing customers and none of us would ever come back, which is not true at all. I actually messaged them on social media to tell them we would absolutely be back and how much we love their place. He embarrassed himself and us by throwing a fit and making a scene. The rest of the night he complained about it and just got worse the more he drank. Apparently he's done this before. I'm never going out with him ever again. You said that this guy is super rich? Sometimes money makes people act like they're super entitled. And sometimes entitled people just somehow manage to make a lot of money, unfortunately. And the general consensus in the comments that replied to that story were, why is it that the most annoying people that restaurants don't want to return are always saying they'll never come back? And it's like, good, we don't want you here ever again. You're not hurting us by saying you aren't coming back. Our next story is by Simple Park 1591. Sold me eggs but told me I have to give them back if she needed them. This situation is so dumb and I'm so confused. I feel like I'm the crazy one. I have a lady I buy my eggs from instead of buying from the store. Yesterday I went to pick up a couple of dozen, like I usually do. She told me she might run out. If she does, she'll want the eggs back. Lol, what? Not buy them back, but she expects me to just give them back. I was confused because won't her chickens still be laying eggs every day? I admit I don't know much about chickens. I clarified that she was meaning she would ask me for the eggs back that I just bought. She says yes. I told her to just keep one of the dozens if she thought she would run out. She needed the couple of bucks she was getting from the eggs, so not selling them to me wasn't an option. I said, okay, but you'll be refunding me the money I spent if I have to give them back. She got mad. She expected me to pay for these eggs and then just give them back to her for free when she runs out. Am I wrong? Am I the crazy one here? After this interaction, I'm going back to just buying them at the store because this doesn't seem right. It's hilarious and irritating. Edit, she wasn't meaning give her the egg carton back. I used my own cartons. If she needed the cartons I had, I would have given them to her. I've saved those for her in the past. She was definitely meaning she wanted me to give her the eggs back and she wouldn't be giving my money back. You're not the crazy one here, OP. She's crazy for even suggesting that. It sounds almost like she was expecting you to donate to her. She needs the money, but she doesn't want to part with the eggs. And according to a couple people down in the comments who know about egg laying, when it gets really cold outside, they stop laying eggs. But the OP also replied to this and said it is not very cold right now where they live. It's perfectly fine out, so the chickens are still going to keep laying eggs. I've never heard of somebody being this crazy. Donate to me. And honestly, I think you made the right call about not wanting to deal with her again, but I wouldn't just go back to buying them from the store. Somebody else in the area has to be an egg seller. Our stories for today have come to a close. If you enjoy this content, please click like or subscribe or leave a comment below. You can also click the little notification bell and you'll get alerts when new videos drop. Until we meet again, have a spectacular day.